Hi, Janelle. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to kind of chat with you. I know I've kind of gotten some of your questions
Mm-hmm.
ready about your counseling experience, but in this series, I really just wanted to present to people real women who have gone through, counseling and therapy,
Mm-hmm.
break some of the myths and stigmas and to hopefully encourage people. So before we kind of delve into what your counseling experience was like, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, my name is Janae. I am a teacher by day, and then I have a podcast and a blog called Confessions
Awesome.
from a Red Couch, blog and podcast, and it actually started because of my therapy journey.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So yeah, so that's kind of where this all came from. It's because I was I mean, we're going to get into the story, but I was having a
Right.
rough time with, some mental health issues along with like physical health issues. And so
Mm-hmm.
I started all that to let people know that, you're not alone and you don't have to feel embarrassed to go to therapy and counseling. And, I feel like if God didn't want us to go to therapists, he wouldn't have made them. So,
Right. Right. That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
So before you actually went to counseling, did you have a positive attitude about it or how did you feel?
I did. I had a really
Mhm.
positive attitude. I feel like mental health is a big deal. And so if you can, a lot of people like to say, well, you could have just came and talked to me. But sometimes you need
Mhm.
to talk to somebody who doesn't have a bias about you.
Right.
So,
That's
and
good.
that can actually help you, that knows, they've been to school and they know what you're going through. And so I never had an issue with therapy, therapists, counseling, anything. I feel like it's just another tool to put
Mhm.
in toolbox to, live this thing we call life.
That's good. So let's jump right into it. Why counseling? Was it in your life that kind of pushed you towards seeking help?
Well, I was at a stressful job, really stressful job,
Yes.
stressful workplace, because
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
at a stressful workplace. And I was diagnosed with a blood clot
Mhm.
and um, and was still trying to come to work, which was crazy. So you see, that's like some mental health.
Right. We listen.
I'm not
Educate.
taking care of myself.
Right.
And then, so when that happened, I went through this long medical thing, and the the insurance company assigned
Mhm.
me a social worker, and the medical social worker, because it was kind of like a change in lifestyle. I had to think
Right.
about some things differently. And she was like, "Do you have anything else?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have panic attacks." I just came out and said it because I was like,
Mhm.
you can help me
Mhm.
with this. And so she was like, yeah, we can assign you with a therapist. We could get you the things that you need. And I swear it was within like the next day, someone from the therapy or the mental health kind of section called me, and they took me through this questionnaire. And she was like,
Mhm.
yeah, you have classic anxiety disorder. She said, don't worry, we're going to get you help. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. And from then
Wow.
it was never like a question of, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I was like,
Mhm.
I need to get better.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about your job. We know you're a teacher. Yeah, I'm a teacher as well, and we know that that job can be really, really stressful.
Hmm.
A lot of times, educators just don't really cope and handle all the pressures. Well, was there any kind of outlet? I feel like I know the answer, but was there any outlet at work? Did you have like just mental health support in this little email faculty? Like, hey, do you feel like you want to choke a kid today?
Oh, I think it was a couple of faculty members there that would help me out.
Okay,
Like if they
okay,
saw me leaving the classroom or knew that I was having an issue, they would just
right,
walk in, because sometimes
right,
when you work at a crazy place, you form
hmm,
camaraderie with people who are like, we
right.
know
That
you're
buddy
doing your
system,
job, you're doing what you got to do.
right.
So, if something happens that's out of the ordinary, we're going to make sure that you are right,
Right.
kind of what was happening. And I think the craziest thing was when I started having panic attacks, I would have them in the classroom and
Mm,
didn't really realize it was a panic attack. I just thought, okay, something ain't right. I thought it was my asthma. I thought I was
mhm,
having a heart attack, like all of
mhm.
these other things.
Right.
And so, you would call somebody in or tell the kids, because, if you form a good relationship with your kids, you'd be
Right.
like, hey, y'all got to give me 1 second because I'm not feeling right. And, they would,
Right.
but that was it. That was my only saving grace is, just the faculty. Some of the faculty there would be like, okay, she needs some.
Wow, that's really good. It sounds to me like the blood clots and all of that illness really help to just kind of propel you towards everything you need.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about how important it is just to even just do regular physician checkups.
Yes.
You just never know. They may see some things that that we didn't see. So that's awesome. So had you known people to go to counseling before? Because your sometimes your attitude is a little different than a lot of people, especially within the American community. Have you always been like a self-help, self-care kind of person? Did you have role models that kind of instilled that? How did that look like for you?
I don't, it's really crazy because I think, I knew people when I went to college. I knew people who
Right,
talked to therapists,
right,
but they weren't part of the Black community. So at some
right.
point, sometimes you think, us in the Black community will have you thinking, well, therapy ain't for us. No, it
Mm-hmm.
is for us.
Absolutely.
And so, so that was my idea before was, okay, they could get help, but maybe if I just pray it away, the
Mm-hmm.
usual pray it
Yeah.
away, or just keep grinding.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It could go in the back. You just keep grinding because you got stuff to do. But it comes to a point where, like you said, I knew I needed help. I knew I was
Yeah.
not living the life that I wanted to live. So, it was affecting my lifehood, what I was doing every day. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, nah, I got to talk to somebody. I got to do something.
And I heard you say you had like a couple of teachers too. So just it sounds like just having someone that kind of recognizes, you're not quite yourself, or I see that things seem to be off, like an extended network kind of thing
Yeah.
for the people that may be noticing some things.
Yeah, they were. Like people would notice. When I would have panic attacks, I was a coach too. So I would have them at track meets. So I would have to let my other coaches know, hey y'all, I just give me a second, let me walk around, or can y'all talk to the kids? Cause I would go into like shortness of breath. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I had they range. The range was crazy because it would
Mm-hmm.
be I couldn't stop crying,
Okay.
or I would be really mad, and just not having the appropriate emotional responses to stuff. And then
Right.
it would be the heart attack feeling or the shortness of breath feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime I felt like I started to notice, okay, you're gonna have a panic attack, I would tell one of my coaches, hey y'all, I need to take a walk. I'll be back. But y'all got
Right.
the kid, and so that would, yeah.
That's pretty good. So let's
Yeah.
just talk about the counseling experience. What was it like? What were some of the things that you did? I know you said you kind of switched counseling.
I sure did.
So yeah, let's share a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So when I got assigned a therapist and a behavioral specialist.
Okay.
Because the behavioral specialist helped me to cope with some things, and the therapist was more so to just talk half the time.
Okay.
And the first therapist they assigned me, our personalities did not click.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a discussion with him. I was like, I don't think this is going to work between me or
Right.
you, because he would be mad like if I was late, maybe 2 minutes late to a phone call, because it was all over the
Oh,
phone, like I didn't have to go in the office.
right.
He would like be like, where were you? And I'm like, wait, I you're not gonna do
Right.
that to me, but it was
Right.
that helped me to advocate for myself, to
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what, I don't have to put up with this. This is it.
Right.
We're not gonna fit together. You could send me somebody else.
That's
And
good.
that was pretty amazing. Like I felt really empowered by it, because sometimes we think, well, they know
Mm-hmm.
more than us, so I'm just gonna take it. But you don't have to take it if that's not what
Right.
you want, or is gonna be
That's good.
conducive to your healing. You need to get someplace, you need to do something else. And so that's what I did. And I got another therapist, and
Mm-hmm.
um it was really amazing.
Right.
hmm
What would you say to encourage someone who may be feeling a little weird about attending counseling? Like, I don't want people all in my business.
hmm
Maybe this is like a sign of weakness for me. What would you say to a person in that situation?
um knowing knowing that something's the matter with you, I think, is more so a strength than a weakness.
Good.
If you can identify, hey, this is not right with me, then that's a strength, because you know that you need help. To not think that you always need help is not a strength. That's just arrogance, because we all
Mm-hmm.
need help. And then They won't tell your business. That's the good thing about a therapist. It's against the law for them to tell your business.
Right.
And, so they're not going to go share your information, and they don't know you from jump. So they
Right.
don't know what you did in your past. They don't know, they don't know your weird, unless you share it with them, they don't know anything. Their job is to help you, and that's it. It's not to be nosy. It's not to pry. It's not to go and get your business and tell somebody else your business, because they can't do that. They are only there to help you. So if you're feeling a little, I like to say gun shy about it,
Right.
don't. You need help, and we're all human, and we all need help, and it's okay. It is okay.
That's good. So I heard you say something. I just want to touch on one other point. You said that counselor was for you to kind of talk things through, and therapist was more action oriented. Can you kind of talk a little bit?
Yeah, so the therapist she would ask me questions about what was going on in my life, what was happening, what led up to my first panic attack. So she was just getting me to identify, okay, so how did I get to this point in life? Right. And I was able to talk it out without being judged, without her saying anything. She would give her 2 cents and, be like, oh, okay, well, that does sound stressful. So what was your reaction? And that's how she got me to talk through it. The behavioral specialist taught me ways to decrease my panic attacks and how to handle the anxiety. Like, like, what can you do? You need to, she would always be like, what is your circle of control? What's your circle of control? Can you control anything outside of that circle? And it's like, no. And so she would help me to identify those things and where to put and categorize it. And then she would also say, okay, so if you feel a panic attack coming on, let's talk about some ways that we can decrease that or stop the frequency.
Gotcha.
So it was without medication, because my primary doctor made me, my primary doctor gave me Xanax, and I hate drugs. I don't like it. And I didn't like the way it made me feel, because it made me feel off. So the behavioral specialist helped me to basically adapt ways to work through the anxiety without taking the medicine,
Okay, gotcha. How long did you stay in counseling?
It was about, I want to say 6 months.
Oh, so you stayed the process. You didn't just jump in and, I feel better today. You actually took time to work through it.
Yes. And I still will call somebody up. I'll set an appointment if I need to, because you're never fixed.
Right.
Always life always happens, and you need to talk out certain situations. And if you don't feel like comfortable talking about with it from your family or anybody else, that's what therapists are there for.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for shedding light on your process. You're amazing, strong woman. We really appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely.